through the day. Some breaking news now coming in, a reaction also coming in from Kapil Sibal, reacting on Raut's arrest, and he has tweeted, and I quote, "ED's powers and reach of investigation endorsed by a clearly flawed Supreme Court judgment will be misused to topple elected governments and destroy our federal structure." So Kapil Sibal coming out in support of the Shiv Sena MP and saying the ED's powers will be misused to topple elected governments.
All right, so this is, yet another tweet that has been put out by Kapil Sibal this time around. But interestingly, Pratibha is also saying that ED's powers and reach of investigation endorsed by a clearly flawed Supreme Court judgment. So this is questions being put out to the judiciary. So that's a shocking statement coming in from Kapil Sibal at that, but he's speaking of how this idea is being misused to topple elected governments and to destroy our federal structure. Let me open this up to our guests who are joining us this morning. We have Ravi Srivastav, who's been waiting patiently on this broadcast. Also, Rajlakshmi Joshi, political analyst, is with us. My first question is to you, Mr. Ravi Srivastav. Why would Kapil Sibal go ahead at this point in time, though he has been questioning the Enforcement Directorate, the probe agencies? Several opposition leaders have been saying that, all of these agencies are being misused by the BJP. That's what they have said all this while. But interestingly, and also very questionable at that, is what Kapil Sibal is saying when he says this is being endorsed by a clearly flawed Supreme Court judgment in this very case.
You are right. It's nothing but a political vendetta, and which has been going on for quite some time. It is on the expected lines. This was happening. He had been cooperating. Sanjay Raut had been cooperating. I agree that he is a loudmouth. He is an outspoken member of parliament. He talks very sometimes sarcastically against the people. That's okay. But then the point here is that this is a punishment for not further breaking the Shiv Sena, which others did. And the person who is preaching him did it because of that he was under the pressure of the ED. I mean that all those 39 people, most of them had some kind of ED's Damocles sword hanging on their head. And those people only had, broke the Shiv Sena, and that the so-called now new government.
In fact, this is a charge that is leveled time and again. Ms. Rajalakshmi, time and again, questions being raised on why is it that only the opposition is being targeted. But the Enforcement Directorate, recently in the Supreme Court judgment as well, empowering the Enforcement Directorate to go ahead with the arrest. Several opposition leaders had approached the Supreme Court. This is the top court of the country that upheld the powers of the Enforcement Directorate. So would it be right to now question the central agency?
Very good morning. I just want to remind all of you that the Enforcement Directorate, the CBI, they are all independent agencies, and they are not.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Mr. Ravi Srivastav, I did not.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it.
So we'll come back to you.
Yes, you can rebut later. They are independent agencies. They are not run by the BJP or by the government. They are independent agencies, and they run on the basis of evidences. They run on the basis of whatever proof has been put in front of them, and they have their own way of functioning. So it is so convenient for the Congress, for the Shiv Sena, for the opposition, all of them, to claim political vendetta when there is so much incriminating evidence against them. It is on the basis of that evidence that all this action has been taken. So it is not that the BJP had anything to do with this. So it is very convenient for people like Mr. Ravi Srivastav to come and say that why are only opposition leaders being targeted. I appeal to Mr. Ravi Srivastav, if you find any kind of corruption in any of the BJP leaders, please go ahead with the evidence. Please put it across. Please put up a case. Please approach the ED, CBI, whoever is the appropriate authority, and take action against them.
So, Mr. Srivastav, to add to what Rajlakshmi is saying, we all know that earlier also summons have been issued to Sanjay Raut, and he did not appear before the probe agency. So I want to ask you, to add to what she's saying, why is it that you feel that he's been cooperating so far?
Tell this lady to tell her High Command to sack the Gujarat Minister Arjun Singh, who has been raping a girl for last 5 years, and he is still not being even charge sheeted. So they're telling about that BJP leaders are not corrupt and BJP leaders are clean. This is all nonsense. This has got no merit at all. It is all deliberate and purposeful. Who is Mukul Roy? Who is Shubhendu Adhikari? Who is Hemanta Biswa Sarma? They did have cases. You are running a washing machine in the BJP. Anybody who joins BJP becomes clean at its own. And what Sanjay Raut did? Sanjay Raut, 28th June he did not appear. 1st of July he did appear. 20th July he did not appear. 27th July he did not appear. You come and arrest him. Okay, no problem. You do arrest him, make a case, whatever you want to do. But I am telling you the conviction rate of the ED, which is 0.6%. For arresting 6 people or convicting 6 people, you are harassing 994 people.
Okay.
Is it justified?
Okay.
No, let me tell you.
So the charge here is, Mr. Srivastava, and Raj Lakshmi can come in on that. Let her take up your first point. Okay, the charge here is, we'll have to slip in a very short break here, but the charge here is from the opposition that why is it that this kind of an action is being taken repeatedly against opposition leaders only? Why no ED action? Why no CBI action? Mr. Srivastava, we'll have to leave it at that. I've put out your question to Raj Lakshmi. We'll come back to you in just a bit. For the moment, we need to slip in.